Hello and welcome to another edition of Thursday Thoughts with the Rector. Today is Thursday, November 11th, 2021, and a happy Veterans Day to everyone, to those who have served. This week, I have a special guest, Brittany Ferrell, who is a nurse at the Lenore Medical Center in Kinston, but grew up here at Christ Church. And so grateful to have you with me today. And Brittany has also been in charge of the COVID unit at Lenore. And so Brittany also has two young kids. Gracie is 5 and Easton is 3. Oh, he just turned 3.
Yes,
sorry.
that's okay.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about parents and vaccines now that vaccines are available for 5 to 11-year-olds. And I'm sure there are parents who have lots of questions. And what would you say to parents who do have questions?
Well, the first thing for parents that do have questions, understanding that any decision you make is a personal decision. There is no right answer for what you want your kid to have, but you need to make sure that you have the right research, the right information before you make a decision. Whatever your decision is, just make it with the right information. So I would encourage people to go to their pediatrician and see what they have to say before they make a decision. Go on some, validated websites. The CDC has a good link for COVID vaccinations for pediatrics, and then I have a couple other ones that I'll share.
Great.
But the biggest thing around vaccines, and this is for adults and for kids, is people think that it's going to prevent you from getting COVID. It is not. Mm-hmm. It is not going to prevent you. It will prevent you from dying or being very, very sick.
Which is still a better outcome.
Yes. Yeah. And especially in our kids, I know I want that personally. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And so I think about if someone wants, if I was going to say, am I going to get my child vaccinated? Yes, because I'd like my child to stay healthy and stay alive and not be sick. But overall, like I said, it's a choice you have to make. Whatever decision you make, but make it with research and do your due diligence. But the vaccine itself is based off the mRNA strand.
Yeah.
And it's the messenger RNA.
Messenger, that's right.
Sorry. And the messenger
doesn't stand for my RNA. It's messenger.
It's messenger RNA.
Yeah,
sorry. And it's that vaccine, that COVID vaccine is using the messenger RNA. And the messenger RNA has been around for a number of years, I think 12 years or more. And this is not the first vaccine done on mRNAs. So that's some good stuff to share with people about that. We're not just randomly picking something that the CDC thought would work. This has been, research is tried and true. And so we have now a different virus that we're using it on, but the way it's getting into the body is the same. And so I think you just have to decide what you're willing to end up with, either getting it or not. And I'm not trying to sound cruel or unusual, but kids are dying from COVID.
Right.
It is scary. This second wave, this Delta variant, has done more damage to pediatrics than it has to adults, and I've seen it personally. It's heart-wrenching to watch. The effects of COVID on pediatric patients this time around is not just you're sick, you have a cold. It's you have a blood clot that travels to your heart, your lungs, your legs, and it can cause significant damage or, by chance, pass away from it. But I think just knowing that could be an outcome for me, for my children.
Right. That's
why I want my children to get it.
Right.
I don't want that. I do want them, just if they're going to get it, I want them to have a cold.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
I want them to be able to be treated at home where they, they're comfortable and not hospitalized. And your lungs get scarred from this stuff, and we don't know what's going to happen. If my daughter got COVID, God forbid, and she didn't get vaccinated, I don't know what her lungs are gonna look like.
That's what I've heard too, is that the long-term effects are what we really don't know, and that's like the even scarier.
And the COVID vaccine, everyone's worried about this reaction, that you're going to have this bad reaction. Typical vaccines, you're going to have a reaction within the first, I'll give you a long-term time frame, 30 days. If you're really going to have a true reaction, your acute reactions will happen in the first 48 hours. And you should see it.
Yeah.
They're very typical reactions to just like the flu shots, any other types of shots. Your arm hurts and you have fever.
Yep.
But it's your body's way of saying, hey, I saw this virus and I'm attacking it. And I'm going to treat it, but I'm going to memorize it, so if I see it again, I'll be able to protect you from it. And that you just have to decide what you want. There's, like I said, there's no right answer to it, but I personally would much rather, get my child vaccinated.
Yeah.
So.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for joining me for this.
Yes.
I am very anti-COVID and
Yes.
pro-vaccine all the way
Yes.
around. So to be able to share information like this, and I think vaccines are a great gift from God.
Absolutely.
That God imbued the scientists with the wisdom to be able to do it, and for that we give God great thanks and praise.
And if anyone has any questions, I can give a very non-judgmental point of view on it, of any type, good or bad, because I have employees that ask the questions I have about themselves or about their kids and what to do. So I'll be happy to.
That's awesome.
help.
Thank you. We'll share those websites as well in the notes, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Word.